Hey guys, Tradecraft Trading, back again. Gonna make a video today about a few trades. One good trade that I had, one that was a push, but it was a good learning lesson on taking profits when you can. So I'm gonna go over the first trade, which was a kind of a mixed bag, but let's see, it was TEVA. Now this popped up in my I think it was in my Gappers. Yeah, it was pretty much. I think it was in my Gappers scan. Use trade ideas. Again, I highly recommend you use trade ideas if you're looking to get into day trading. It's really just a. I mean, you can't really day trade without it. It's a great scanning software. So definitely check it out if you haven't. They have demos for it. You can just kind of get a feel for it. But yeah, so this was TEVA. So I got in here. You can see the marker. I use Interactive Brokers. Obviously, this is my Interactive Brokers charting software and trading software. So I got in here because it was below VWAP, and it kind of struggled to get above it here. You can see it was bouncing around. It's not an ideal. This is really messy. It's not really that good looking of a chart. You want tighter candles where things are moving a little smoother. You can see here on the 15-minute candle, I think because I got in at around 11:15, so that was about right here. It was below the 10 EMA on my 15-minute candles, 50-minute chart. So it was kind of a gamble, but you see it did drop. It went down, pulled back, dropped again, and I was looking. This is my stop. This is where I put my stop, 1854, and I got in at about 1841. So it was just like 13 cents. So not too big, but it did go down. So I was looking to get to 1815 for a nice 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, or reward to risk ratio, really. So you see what happened here. I came real close, and I should have started to scale out a little bit, but I didn't. I didn't scale out. And given how this isn't really a nice tight chart, the candles are kind of whippy, and a lot of wicks here showing that there's just not a lot of smooth movement. I should have been taking out. I probably should have taken out some right around here. But I held on because I felt like it still could have dropped a little bit. But you see what happened? This big candle brought her way back up. And I think the SPY had something to do with it at this point. The market was going up at around this time of day. So it kind of helped it propel it back up. And I got out right here at 1835. So I got a 6-cent drop, really, which was, I mean, obviously it's good to be in the black, and I took a tiny bit of profit, but not what I should have been getting from down here. Like if I took some out down here around 1822, that would have been more ideal. I just held out because I felt like it was going to hit this marker, and it didn't. I should have scaled out a little bit. And the one thing a lot of traders make mistakes of doing early on is they get in and then they move their stops up really quick, and then they get stopped out, and then it continues down and hits their first target, and it's they're already out of the trade, so they don't take advantage of it. That is a problem. I can tell you from firsthand experience that happened to me early on. Is that I was taking trades, taking positions, and then as soon as it would start to move in my favor, I'd move my stop up so that no matter what, if it came back, I wouldn't lose any money on it. But the problem is, yeah, you're reducing your risk, but you're also taking yourself out of the potential for an actual winning trade. So that is something you have to kind of master. But if you look at, eventually you start to get a feel for when you're looking at charts and you see, things aren't exactly moving that great. You can take some out before it hits your target, just to save you, any potential major losses, or at least to get some profit out of it rather than moving up. So usually I wait about 15 minutes. I don't do anything for 15 minutes unless it hits my stop, and then I get out. And I wait, and after that 15 minutes to half an hour, then I'll start to consider taking stuff out if the stock seems to be a little messy or just not moving right. I should have done that here, but I didn't. And then it came back. You can see I got out here. It came back down again a little bit. I was already out. Obviously, I took everything out. But then you see it came back up, and it actually did hit my stop before it even hit my target. It came so close down here, which is kind of why I held on past this point. I didn't take any out. I just figured it's going to hit that eventually. So that's a little bit of a lesson. You got it. It's really something you just get a feel for over time when you're day trading, is when to take out So that was the first trade. Didn't move the way I wanted. Now I want to look at another one here yeah, SFIX. Now this was a good one. This showed up on my pre-market alpha. And it was at the top of the list actually, a lot of volume for today. You can see on the, okay, so big drop on the day, right? Drop down. So, big gap down, showed up in my pre-market scanner. So I was watching it all day, below VWAP. Now look here, got above VWAP. Little 2-bar pullback here, right? I got in right at 1945. I put my stop at 1932, and I was looking for it to get to 1971, 84, and so I was just going my 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1, and 4-to-1. You can see as soon as I hit my 2-to-1, I got out. I was just happy with this little movement here. It did eventually get up to my 3-to-1, which is fine, but I got out with a good profit. But you see, there's nice. If you look at the ADMA, it's riding the ADMA real nice and smooth. And it held, see it like this because it held VWAP. Kind of poked down, but then it held it. That's when I got in. As soon as I saw that it was kind of a 2-bar pullback and then a jump. And so, yeah, this was a good trade. It's a lot of volume today, so you know it's moving. You just got to find the right time to get in. Obviously, down here, if somebody had noticed that it's starting to base, right? You could have gotten in at around, let's see, 1872. Maybe put a 20-cent stop on it. If you got an 1817, look at that. You could have gotten a dollar movement just from here to here. So this was a good trade of the day. One other trade that I did look at, I kind of put a marker on. That wasn't doing anything. CERN, yeah. So I saw this. I liked this because it was kind of, you know, all over the place at the first 5 minutes. Then it held below VWAP, and I put a marker here when I was thinking of getting in because it was dropping away from VWAP. So about 54.72, and look what happened. Went all the way down to about 54.25. So that would have been a nice short. And then look at this, the 200 moving average on the 5 minutes. Sort of used that as a base, went back up. And look at a little double bottom here. So this would have been a nice place to maybe get back in and go up with it. But yeah, so that was it. So my first trade of the day. Could have made more out of it, but no loss, so not so bad. And then SFIX, second trade, that worked out well. That nice little movement right here, quick trade, only about 20 minutes or so. I was in that trade, not even. I think it was like 12 minutes. So that's it. So hopefully down the road, I'll be doing some live streaming, like I said, in January. But if you have any questions about getting into day trading, you know, what you might need to start and some resources to look at first, definitely I recommend going online, Amazon. There's a lot of day trading books. You really can't go wrong as long as you start to learn about, you know, just the basics of day trading. That's really all you need. And eventually, you know, it'll pay off down the road when you get to your own style of day trading, because nobody trades the same. Everybody has their own style. You just gotta really study it for a while, and you'll learn a lot, especially studying other traders and what they do and the mistakes they make and learning from that. So that's kind of why I'm making this YouTube channel. Hopefully people can learn from the kind of trading that I do, and you know, the mistakes I've made and how you overcome. All right, so see you next time.